My name is Francesca Phillips, and you're listening to the Good Space Podcast, a show where we help you find peace and power in work, relationships, and intuition. After much reflection and reviewing how I wanted the Good Space to grow over this next year, we've decided to adopt what Brené Brown calls switching to a pausecast instead of a podcast. So a pausecast, P-A-U-S-E cast. What that means is starting now, our episodes will drop as we're inspired. After taking a 2-month pause in November and December, I realized how inspired I felt giving space to thoughts and topics. How much more insightful our content became when I could breathe, when the ideas and the topics that I was reading about could breathe. And when I heard Brené Brown say that, it just resonated so much with me. We're all about slower living, intentional living. And I felt like releasing an episode every week just for the sake of every week would cause sometimes the things we would share to suffer a little. And I felt less inspired, and I didn't feel like I had space energetically or emotionally to actually be inspired, which is the whole point of this podcast and the Good Space, is to help you and support you in having that intentional, inspirational space in your life. Right now, our cadence forces us to work on strict deadlines, and like our job is cranking things out. It's very masculine energy, and it takes a lot of work. That's not the energy we want to bring to you at the Good Space. We want to be that space that nurtures you, that encourages you to give space to the spiritual and creative aspects of your soul, to let your own musings and inspiration breathe. So how can we teach what we don't practice? Besides, most of the spiritual and emotional and mental topics we share aren't black and white. They aren't soundbite material or trendy. These are lasting, deep principles that deserve a little more time if they require it. I don't want the limits of man-made time to stifle these transformative and vast concepts. That's not how the spiritual or emotional realms work. So we want to sync up this show with those natural rhythms. And we're going to test it out. We're going to see how it works. And I have a feeling it'll be much more flowy and supportive and in tune with what you need in the moment. And we also have felt inspired to focus solely on going from a weekly email to a daily one when pondering how to best show up for you regularly and support that nurturing space. This strongly came to mind. Right now, we send an email every Sunday giving you an affirmation, a writing prompt, basically everything that you would need to have an introspective moment to set up your week for success. It's a really nurturing and positive and cocoon-like feeling of energy every Sunday. And then Tuesdays, we usually send out an email about our new podcast. But I thought, if you really wanted to have a supportive, nurturing morning, I feel like we need to show up for you every day and make that a part of your morning ritual. And we're really excited to be launching that and hope that you sign up. Really, if you want to have an amazing start to your morning, make sure you sign up. It's going to be in the show notes of whatever app you're listening to right now. So every morning you'll get an affirmation, a centering thought by creatives and other leaders, a writing prompt, and a few nurturing curated content, as well as spotlights on different thought leaders and people from the community. It's really just a nurturing, strengthening, supportive space, especially if you don't have that circle of friends in your life that you can really go to about the spiritual, the mental, the emotional. And we hope that you enjoy it. And this doesn't mean that the podcast is going to be done forever. That's not what we're saying at all. As we feel inspired, we will launch new episodes as part of that nurturing, and you'll be the first to know in those emails. So as I read about boundaries or ego or law of attraction, I'll make 4 or 5 episodes. And then in the emails that we send you, we'll say, hey, this is dropping. It's on this topic. It's kind of like a mini course for free to learn what we're learning. And then we'll just drop 4 or 5 within that next month or so. So this won't be the end of that. And then in the meantime, we also will have new blog posts and other offerings with the sole purpose to support your journey to peace. That literally is what me and my small team talk about every week is like, how can we serve you and support you the best way possible? That's literally our end goal. How can we make you feel more peace? But not to fear. If a daily email scares you and it's not really your thing, there will be an option to get a weekly digest where we will give you the best stuff from that week, because we want you to be able to nurture yourself however works best for you. For some people, it will be that daily communing and gathering. For other people, it's just once a week. And we respect that and want you to have that option as well. And as our name implies, the good space, we want to make more good space in our own brand and in our own space so we can allow what's meant to expand and grow. A good space requires a gentle and regular check-in. How does your energy feel? Does life feel tight and full to the point where one more thing will tip the scales? Is there enough breathing room for what matters most? And these were the questions I really asked myself, which brought me to this decision of making this a pausecast instead of a podcast. I read a quote recently in a book about writing, and basically it said that we can be talented in many things. We can be so good at like a lot of things, but that doesn't mean they should all get our energy and time. And that's kind of the mindset that I have right now. So with that, we are officially a pausecast, and I can't wait to see where things unfold from here, what new episodes will arise because of that breathing room, and also what growth we will have with you and the support that we can offer with our daily emails. So don't forget to sign up, because we are on our way and we hope to follow you in your journey and support you as well. Thanks. If you found today's tips inspiring or thought-provoking, share it right now on social media and make sure to tag me at Francesca A. Phillips or at Find Your Good Space, and also weigh in the comment section at findyourgoodspace.com. You can find links in the show notes. And if you have a spiritual or mindfulness problem that you want me to unpack on an upcoming The Good Space episode, or an awesome manifesting story you want to share, give my podcast phone line a ring right now at 917-719-0867. Also, don't forget to download my free morning routine guide. It's what helped me reduce my anxiety, increase productivity, and so much more. The link to everything I mentioned is in the show notes. See you soon.